here, Jonathan. We're back for another exploration of our Boss ME80 multi-effects board, and for this video I thought that we could explore two of these pedal banks, and one of them is actually going to be our expression pedal over here on the right hand side, and then also we can hit this EQ bank, which is a quicker one to go through. So let's start with that. So this EQ bank, right? EQ standing for equalization. This is how we can adjust our tonal balance within our instrument. We can emphasize highs, mids, and lows, kind of like, you know, what we have in this preamp options as well. So in the EQ, if we turn down to 5 o'clock where, right, we have EQ, then this is referring to bass, mid, trebles, and then our overall output level. So again, much like with the preamp, right, if we, again, here's our vanilla sound. Then as soon as we activate our EQ, then we can start messing with that tonal balance. So say we want a really mid-heavy sound. Maybe we could even bring the others down a little bit. Now we're gonna have this kind of nasally. Yeah, maybe we can do it even more. Make it come out. So, yeah, we could even go way up there. So it's just kind of these subtle tonal shifts. Again, with all the stuff we're doing, I don't think we'll probably use that. What we might use, however, is that we also have this FX2. So in addition with our FX1, we have a couple of these same effects available in here. And that's actually some pulled over from our modulation section, you'll remember. So we have a phaser, which, as a reminder, is this kind of whoosh sound. Yay! We have the tremolo, which, just to be thorough, but kind of dumb for us. Yep, don't want that. We have a boost. This is actually something interesting, right? This is just going to be a flat increase of sound. So that's, you know, if we're going back and forth, maybe we're in the middle of a section and you want to start soloing and you just need a little bit more to kick out, boost might actually be useful. Delay, which is actually something that we will cover later, but this is just another option. Another way to get our delay in case maybe we wanted our delay pedals to still be on the phrase looper. We could still have a simple digital delay here. And then we have chorus, which is actually one of the better, more useful effects that we can get some of this thickness. So that's about all there is to this EQ section. Probably not one of our bread and butter banks, but still good to know. Bread and butter bank, though, will be this expression pedal. And so an expression pedal basically is it refers to this classification of pedal that by rocking back and forth, you can change a parameter within it. So oftentimes, well, let's just say that in its default position right here, it's actually acting as a volume pedal. So we can just, and we have our volume back. So might be useful, who knows, but more useful if you step down with a lot of pressure, which is hard to do from a seated position. The light will go on, and now we've activated the pedal FX. So it's no longer a volume pedal, but now it's going to react to one of these parameters. So up here at 12 o'clock, we have freeze. So if we bring our expression pedal backward on our heel, what freeze will do, very cool, is whatever input is going into it, when we push down towards the toe, it'll start doing a mini loop of that. So for like a drone, super cool, right? And you just pull it back and then you can take it off. Love freeze. All right, then we have some octaves. Here we go. So you'll remember that we have another octave option here in our compressor FX1 that's super useful. Here we have a kind of a different form of octave. and we have a couple options. So here we have -1 octave, so it'll bring us down 1 octave. Importantly, and distinct from the octave we have over here, we don't have control over the dry-wet balance, which refers to how much of the original signal of the instrument and how much of the processed signal we have. Here it's just blended together. So pedal back on the heel means it's not activated, and you push forward. Yay! So you have kind of control over that. So the octave down pedals are probably going to be useful for you. Here we have, and then the next two we have are actually octave up pedals, which are probably more useful for me. So we have +2 octaves, which is wild. It's kind of like the old THX, you remember? Yeah. Very cool. And then of course we just have octave +1 octave. Great. And again, right, we can always do a hard press on the toe to turn that whole thing off again. And now it's just back to being a volume pedal. All right, next we have voice, and this is kind of adding some processing similar to vocoders, maybe, which are a type of plugin that more complicated. Maybe a whole video on that. But it's just another parameter. So it's actually what it's going through is going through these different vowel sounds, right? That we have I, O, all of those. Interesting sound. It's actually related to the next one, which is probably going to be very useful in specific kinds of playing. This is our wah pedal. We got wow, 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 wow. Oh. So good. So of course, it's a filter, a special kind of filter that's going over our frequency and bringing out certain bands and cutting out all the rest. So that creates that wah sound when we kind of oscillate the pedal. So this is maybe a good one to practice, just getting some foot coordination. 10 reps. Ooh. Just for evenness, right? Maybe for you it'll be different. It's very awkward in the seated position to have the leg up here and control over this very fine motor, but a good thing to practice, right? And this wah will actually be affected very much by all the other effects we have going. So especially if we have something like an overdrive. Very different sound, right? Super cool for just getting, again, similar to some of these modulation effects, it helps give us motion in the sounds without having to, you know, add additional bows or change notes, but it still adds some motion to it through the filtering. So then we head over to the other side, and here is where we start actually interacting with the other pedals. So here we have oscillator, delay. I might actually have to do some research and cut it in for what this one does. I'm not sure. You know, let me grab the manual. Fantastic, we're back. So the oscillator is not referring to one of the other pedals. The oscillator is its own form of kind of a delay. So we have this really interesting sort of delay, and actually by messing very subtly with the pedal, we can actually do that crazy modulation to the whole sound. So that's cool. You can get this just kind of gnarly sound. Useful? I don't know. We'll have to see. These next ones, so these are the ones that actually affect the pedals before. So here we have ODDS, referring to, again, overdrive distortion. And this, now the pedal is actually controlling the drive of our overdrive. So if we bring it all the way back, low drive, and crank it up. So maybe it's not quite as noticeable with this one, but let's turn it up to one of the more extreme distortions. You can really hear how it's going to add. We now have control over the amount of teeth in that distortion. Right, maybe if you have a little bit of reverb on that, and you can get some kind of nice back and forth. So just a little more control over that sound so it becomes a useful parameter. Modulation rate. Once again, this is going to affect our modulation pedal, the rate of that. So if we're on chorus right now, crank it up. Not as noticeable with that one. Let's do something like the phaser. Very slow rate. There it is. So now actually, some of these effects that are a little gross, unless they're really properly dialed in, become a bit more useful because we have more control over the expression of them. So that is our mod rate, and then we have a delay level, and this is referring to the delay pedal, and this will affect the level of how much of that wet signal we're getting. So if we just do a normal delay, right now we have none, but then if we pull it in, and so this is actually interesting, right? Because we can start with none, there we go, and bring it in after, or we can prematurely cut it out, or kind of wiggle it back and forth. And if we go to a crazier one like my favorite, Terra Echo, we can actually really mess with that. So, more expression tools. So that is the pedal FX. Again, probably the most useful things for us are the octave pedals, the wah and freeze. Freeze especially, can you just imagine like doing some drones? Boom, you got an instant improv, Toxine style. So many possibilities, and then you just ease it off. So I would highly recommend really get to know the expression pedal and get used to this kind of new foot choreography, right? Using a new limb for the first time in how many years. So we got the expression pedal, we got a couple of parameters with the EQ, but that's gonna be it for today. Have fun.